Here now look about our next point is actually we want to study about the infectious in our syllabus, included infectious and non-infectious diseases. But before that I would like to give you a concept about the broader classification of diseases. If we broadly classify the disease, then it is maybe of two types. The first one is the congenital diseases, which is from right now from the birth, जन्मजात जिसे कहा जा सकता है, माने जन्म से ही उसको ये डिजीज़ है. That means the disease inherited from the parents. और दूसरा जो है एक्वायर्ड डिजीज़, जो जन्म से नहीं है बल्कि इन्वायरमेंटल एक्शन से किसी इंटरनल कारण या बॉडी के अदर मेटाबॉलिक डिसऑर्डर के कारण ये बीमारी माल फंक्शनिंग के कारण हो सकता है, तो उसे नॉन इन्फेक्शियस और नॉन कम्युनिकेबल कहते हैं. यहाँ पे जो एक्वायर्ड डिजीज़ है उसमें एक नॉन इन्फेक्शियस और नॉन कम्युनिकेबल है और दूसरा जो है इन्फेक्शियस और कम्युनिकेबल है. तो नॉन इन्फेक्शियस जो एक्वायर्ड है, जो इन्वायरमेंटल से इंटरैक्शन या फिर जन्म लेने के बाद जिसे एक्वायर करते हैं हम, जो बीमारी हमको हो जाती है बाद में, जो जन्म से नहीं था, बाय बर्थ नहीं था, बाद में हुआ, तो ये बीमारी का दो कैटेगरी हुआ यहाँ पे. नंबर वन नॉन इन्फेक्शियस, जिसका कारण इंटरनल बॉडी प्रॉब्लम है या मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज़ है, और दूसरा जो इन्फेक्शियस है जिसका आपका मूल कारण जो हुआ वो आपका पैथोजेंस है, यानी कि बायोलॉजिकल जो हुआ पैथोजेंस, जिसमें माइक्रोब्स हैं. देयर आर माइक्रोब्स लाइक द बैक्टीरिया, वायरस, फंगी, एंड नॉट ओनली द माइक्रोब्स but also the other organisms also responsible for this disease, that is the worms. So these are the infectious and non-infectious, which are not caused by any pathogens or the biological agent. This is due to the internal body problem. Now we will separately now discuss about the infectious and the non-infectious disease. As the infectious disease may communicate person to person, that is why it is known as communicable disease, and it cannot communicated from person to person, that is why it is not transmitted from one person to another, that is why it is known as non-communicable. Look here, the infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. The infectious diseases are those type of diseases which are caused by biological agents like the microbes. Among the microbes, virus, bacteria, fungi, and not only the microbes but also due to some other organism like the worms, which are not the microbes. So due to this microbes, first look about the microbes. You may look here the microbes like virus, bacteria, fungi. There are little bit characteristic features in your memory, like we are talking about the virus. It is a non-cellular but possessing the capability of multiplication, and when it is within the living body, it can show the important fact of the living organism like the multiplication. They may be made up of by the protein or the DNA or RNA. ये वायरस का एक है कि वो माने सेल का तो नहीं है, लेकिन उसके अंदर जो है जेनेटिक मटेरियल DNA या RNA रहता है, और ये DNA और RNA जो है जब वो किसी दूसरे बॉडी के अंदर, जब वो पैरासाइटिक के कह लें, जब वो किसी बॉडी के अंदर होस्ट बन के रहता है, तो किसी होस्ट में रहता है, तो फिर वो जो है अपना वो मल्टीप्लिकेशन का काम करता है. हम लोग फिर और भी इसके बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। बैक्टीरिया के बारे में भी आपको कुछ जानकारी है ही है कि बैक्टीरिया जो है प्रोकैरियोटिक का बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल आपने बैक्टीरिया को देखा होगा। और आपने ये भी देखा है कि बैक्टीरिया जो है सेल्यूलर है और ये यूनिसेल्यूलर है, इसमें साइटोप्लाज्म रहते हैं, इसमें एक अनडिफाइंड न्यूक्लियस रहता है, यानी कि न्यूक्लियस जो है न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन से नहीं सराउंडेड है, केवल उसमें जेनेटिक मटेरियल न्यूक्लियोइड रहते हैं जो कि यूं ही साइटोप्लाज्म में रहते हैं, सस्पेंडेड रहते हैं, उनका माने कोई डिमार्केशन नहीं है साइटोप्लाज्म और न्यूक्लियस के बीच में। और फंगी, जिसे आपने अलग किंगडम फंगी में पढ़ा ही है, तो ये तीनों इसमें से कुछ तो ऑटोट्रॉफ्स होते हैं, लेकिन अधिकतर जो है दूसरे ऑर्गेनिज्म पे डिपेंड करते हैं। तो दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर स्प्रेडिंग द डिजीज, दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर कॉजिंग द डिजीज विच आर नोन एज इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज, एज दे लिव in each and every places in a very easy way, comfortably they can live in all the types of habitats. That's why they may spread frequently, and they may spread by air, water, by the food contamination. And one infected person, if one person got infected by such type of pathogens or by such type of microbes, like when you're talking about the tuberculosis, when you're talking about the leprosy, when you're talking about the pox diseases, then from the infected person it can spread to the non-infected person. And as it is spread in the community through the air, water, food contamination, that is why it is also known as communicable disease. And when we are talking about the non-infectious disease like the diabetes, like the blood pressure, like the arthritis, then in such type of disease which are not caused by the pathogens, pathogens are not responsible. That means there are some internal problems within the body due to which these diseases may occur. Metabolic disorder are the some internal. The causes are the external, here the causes are the internal. Now may we look about the differences between the infectious and non-infectious disease. Now look here, there are some important points which can differentiate between the infectious and non-infectious disease. Like the infectious disease caused by the pathogens, these are not caused by the pathogens. Here the pathogens means not only the microorganism, but also just you have seen that several worms are also responsible for several types of diseases. So all the organism, including the microorganism, exclusively which are responsible for infectious disease. Second important point, external factors, the microbes attacking from the outside, it entering from outside, from the air, from the water, from the contaminated food, from one infected person to the another one, then it is external. The external factors. Internal factors are mostly involved in the occurrence of such disease like the non-infectious. Third point, it can transmit it from one person to another person in the community by means of air, water, food, physical contact, insect vectors, etc. And when we will discuss about the different types of diseases and means of spread, at that time you may well understand about these points. It remains confined to the affected persons only. Several examples here. You add one point also, that it is communicable and it is not communicable. Your point will be 4. After, if you add one additional point, that it can communicate it is known as the communicable, as because it is spread in the community from person to person. And it is not it is also known as non-communicable, as because it cannot spread in the community.